We are going to war. Maybe, I don't know.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Kind of though.
Yeah. I don't know. Obviously don't want to wish those things at all. But
Well, what do you think's going to happen?
I really don't know. I'm very ignorant about these things. I would say, I don't know. What I was saying earlier is I was listening to PBD's emergency podcast, and I don't remember which guy said it, but one of the guys was talking about like
The false flag stuff.
Yeah, and stuff like, what if there's another 9/11? Or I don't remember how many people he said lived in America from Israel and Iran, but he was basically saying like, it's not really if, it's like when there's going to be another 9/11 now, or some kind of terrorist attack or something like that. And it's just, I don't know. Like I said, ignorant about all of it, but none of that's positive at all.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough to weigh the information you get, because the information is wildly different on two sides of the spectrum. But just face value, if somebody bombs you, you retaliate.
Yeah.
I assume
It doesn't make sense.
So whether I don't know what means Iran has to retaliate, but it's most likely something like 9/11, or all the people that what was there, 15, 20 million people that crossed the border or whatever came into the country the last 4 years. I'm sure there's a percentage of them that were Iranian.
Yeah.
And then out of that group of people, maybe a certain percentage of them were here to escape whatever's going on there, but also maybe ready to be activated for some attacks or something. But the propaganda side of it is like 9/11 was real, it was staged, whatever. I don't know. We don't know.
Either way, people
it
died,
happened and people died, and then it allowed everybody to get on board with a 20-year war.
That's the other terrifying part.
So let's say they do retaliate in the form of blowing up a train, a bus, a school, a building, whatever it is. Then it's either real or false flag. Regardless, people get amped up. You get more buy-in, then you go to war. Mm-hmm. Maybe. I don't know. Not good, though.
No, not at all.
And then also, were they on the brink of having a nuclear weapon?
I know. All of it's so crazy.
We don't know.
Also, when you think about these like terrorist attacks that could potentially happen, it doesn't even have to be someone from there. Like, there's kids that are like born and raised in peaceful suburban areas like Marietta or something. They get radicalized online, which is absurd. I don't really understand how that process happens and bizarre. How and who they target. I'm not saying people from Iran or Israel do that, but obviously people have heard of that happening before, and it's like, I don't know what kind of tactics are out there now to radicalize weak-minded people to help. I don't know, man. That's the biggest challenge of all this is there's so much noise and so much information. It's incredibly hard to decipher what's correct or what's incorrect. And then there's also things where like one thing can be correct, but from two different perspectives. And it's like, what's the correct perspective on it?
You don't get the whole picture from one person. And then most of what we get, news really isn't news. It's really just opinions. So you're getting little bits of information, not a full story. So you're getting bits of information, say 10% fact, 90% opinion. And it's like, the whole Israel Gaza thing is such a hot topic, and it's like chicken or the egg. You could look at one moment and say, the October 7th thing, well, they did this, so of course Israel had to retaliate. But then they can go, but why did we do that? And it just keeps going back and back and back, thousands of years of people fighting.
All that stuff's so tough, and I genuinely don't have an opinion on it only because I don't have enough information.
I don't think I don't have information either. I don't know what I'm talking about at all.
You know what else is dangerous too?
We only know what we're spoon-fed, which is the scary part. That's the irritating part. We only know what we're spoon-fed.
And we only look for the things that we know to look for, which kind of ties back to one of our more coaching and business-related questions of like what questions to ask.
Yeah.
Like we only know what questions to ask or what things to look for based off of information we've been given prior. So basically our entire opinions are tainted unless we actually go out there and do the research ourselves, which is you literally have to like commit your entire life to that. It's obviously not going to happen.
Yeah.
But kind of unrelated, but also related. Google just launched a new kind of AI. I don't know what you would call it. They're basically changing how Google search works. And you've probably noticed this a little bit already. And I've been reading up on it just because of everything that's going on, what I do for work and marketing. But when you used to Google something, the top related searches would come up. That's the easiest way to talk about it without talking about advertising and all that. So like websites would come up, you'd have to dig in and do your own research.
Right.
Now you Google something and it gives you at the very top.
Yeah, a little prompt.
An AI breakdown. Like the AI sources all your information.
Yep. But then still all the links are below.
Well, yeah, it gives the sources, but it's pulling from a lot of different sources. So like something we're working on right now is like, well, how do you market your business when there's essentially what it sounds like is things like Google search ads aren't going to be a big deal anymore, which is massive for so many businesses because that's how they get all their business. You pay for the ads and it's like, well,
it's also super helpful for extremely smaller businesses.
Right. And now it's like, well, if you're not a big dog business and you don't have that pull online, because the only way that AI is getting that information is because your website's optimized, you're all over the place. There's all kinds of these boxes you have to check, basically. You have to be like a killer online. Well, what I'm getting at is this is Google, Meta, all those platforms are always in trouble or people are upset because of how they shape everybody's perspectives and information on everything when it comes to voting or any kind of policy, you know. And it's like that's the one, I'm not calling it the single source of truth, but that's the pond that everybody drinks from that water right there in Google. And it's like, I don't know who's going to be in control of that. And now we're going to get all of our information spoon fed from the bot because marketing business related thing again, I read, I don't remember which one it was, but basically impressions are up like 30%. So people are searching for things more now because it's so easy.
Yeah.
But clicks are down like 60%. So that means like a business, they're not getting as many leads. It costs more. But then for information, you're not diving in because it just gives you the information. So now people are just searching for things. And on political topics and things like that, they're just going to take their first piece of information and they're just going to...
I don't know.
It's just going to be harder and harder, you know, because it's like easier and easier, but harder to.
But there's personality types. There's people that will. Let's go back before Google did that, right? You Google something, most people are staying on the first page. Mm-hmm. Maybe they get past the paid ad ones and they'll go into the first top 5. And then there's other people that are going to scroll through every page and read everything, right? So that's not going to change the personality types that are searching for information like that.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to speed that process up. And then also, all information has been curated and turned into propaganda.
For sure.
Since people yelling in the middle of the street and then newspapers, it's just a different delivery.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think it changes. Human nature is going to stay the same. People are going to use information to manipulate people. It's always been the same thing.
Yeah.
Whether it was books, newspapers, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's always been the same.
I think it'll just be another one of those learning curves. But there's already so many people that just use
and then there's balance to it because the minute something new comes out, someone else is working on the angle to capitalize on it. So your team will probably figure out how do you optimize being caught up in that.
Exactly. Right? That's exactly what we're working on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. Sometimes there's all this talk. I don't want to spend too much on AI because then we have other bullet points today. But there's all this talk about AI and like how scary and all these things. And it's like, I think maybe there was a group of people that were probably worried when like the first printing press was invented.
Of course.
And you could mass print information and give it out all over the world, like, or at least your local community incredibly quick.
Yep.
It's like, what's the difference between that and this?
It's just speed.
Yeah.
The echo chamber is faster, but also, I mean, if it was the newspaper cycle, the information is slower and it hangs out a little bit longer because you're waiting till maybe the next morning or the next week or whenever it comes out. But the attention span was longer then. Now it's faster. I mean, so we just bombed Iran last night. Let's see if we're still talking about it in a week.
I know. Absurd.
That's what's insane. So we get over stuff a lot faster. Not that you should get over that, but our attention span is just in the garbage now.
Yeah.
Since we're trying to be business minded, what do you think that's gonna? What is your first thought about how that will affect the economy and business?
Yeah.
We don't know anything, and we're not economists, and we're not foreign policy experts. We're quite the opposite. But what is your thought? Because the economy and the whole country and the way people work is based on emotion. The stock market, all of that is based on sentiment, emotion, all of that. So whatever you're thinking is relevant.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about the economy because I don't think I have enough information there. But what I do...
Well, it's just a feeling.
I think what I can weigh in on is like both of our clienteles, for the majority, for you, and basically all for me, are the franchise space. And people are buying franchises when they have extra money. They're looking for opportunities. It's like an additional thing that they do in addition to their day job, or they have that lump sum sitting around. And I don't know. I think if that slows down, obviously we slow down. Even if new franchises weren't being made, I'm going to be fine. I think you'd be fine too in the short term, because franchising isn't just going to stop. It's like one of the biggest things in America. But I think things could get a little iffy for a second here, because like we both rely on other entrepreneurs taking risks and deciding to pursue opening a new business and a franchise. And I don't know, I think those opportunities could slow down potentially. I don't see it speeding up if you go into a war. I don't know how that would connect.
Well, now pair that with what I just previously said about the attention span and how fast people stop talking about this.
That's the other side. I think humans are good at, I don't know if I want to put all humans in this, but like we used to have this joke actually where we thought certain things are global and other things are local in our head. Yeah. And it's like something global is like obviously global going on. Something local is just like you right here. But people have their like global mindset and worries and things they think about. And then they have their local, which is their life and their life plan. And it's like, it may sound dark to say, but if there's a war going on, like I don't think people are going to stop their lives. So someone looking to get into a business or do something, it's like this all going on isn't going to make me not put money aside for my kids when they're older, or not show up to work and business plan for the next 5 years. Of course. Or not going, if we go to war, it doesn't mean I still don't want to buy a motorhome in a few years, and that might sound a little dark, but I think
that is true. That is
true. What I'm getting at is I think people have their plans, and I don't think it just comes to an absolute halt. I think we'll be fine right now.
Of course. And I just wanted to see what you thought. Let's see, to piggyback off of what you were saying about the franchise world. What I've noticed is people that are buying into franchises and building all of these things out, it's usually not the only thing they're doing. Yeah. And it takes a while to plan and process all that. So yeah, if you are interested in buying into any franchise, by the time you are built and up and running, could be like 3 years. There's a big process. Finding which one you like, going through they have a filtering process, checks and balances to make sure you have the funds, yada, 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 all that stuff. You buy it, and then your site selection, and then it's finding a contractor, and then getting it up and running and hiring and all that. So, and then funding takes a while.
Yeah.
So there's people right now that are about to build. They're not going to stop just because of this. There's also people that are still looking into that, and they know it's this future endeavor, who are also not going to stop. I've noticed in all the work that I've done, from starting out doing residential stuff a long time ago and then getting into commercial, that things that upset the apple cart, so to speak, don't really affect the commercial space like they do the residential space. So when you're doing a kitchen remodel or something, when there's a little bit of fear out there, they go, we better not spend 30 grand on our house right now.
Yeah, that makes
sense.
But
the people that are building businesses, this is their income. So even if they think the economy is going to be bad, we thought we were going to make an extra 100 grand a year with this business, but it's going to cost us 50 grand a year. Now we're going to make 80 grand a year because the economy is a little bit slower. They still want that.
Yeah.
Opposed to nothing.
Also, you always hear franchises when they're doing their marketing to make more sales talking about that they wouldn't claim that they're bulletproof during a recession or anything, but they always talk about how they can withstand like any economy and things like that.
Or it wouldn't be a successful franchise.
Exactly. Yeah. And it is a risk starting a new business like that, but it is nowhere near
starting your own
as risky as starting your own thing. So getting into one of those things is almost like a safe bet anyway. Yeah. And I don't think it goes away. I think we're just fine. Also, how many instances like this where so the United States just went and bombed Iran? It's like a really big thing. I don't want to make that smaller than it is.
It's Iran, not Iran.
I read that on Twitter. Someone was like, if you say Iran, you're an idiot. Anyway.
Keep going.
I keep ranting my mouth. Oh, yeah, I don't want to boil it down and make it smaller than it is. Obviously, big thing. But how many of these events like this happen all the time?
Constantly.
Over the past century. And it doesn't go into war, or it does, or like life just keeps going on. And
how about a bunch that you don't even know about?
That's what my point is. How many of these things are happening?
Have you ever heard somebody in the military world that talks about all the places we are right now and all the things we're doing? You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
A ton of stuff happens that we're not even aware of.
Yeah. Crazy.
Which makes you wonder. That means someone is choosing to inform you about some stuff and not others, which implies there's a purpose in letting you know, which is scary because that purpose is likely to start warming you up to the idea of, hey, we're going back to the Middle East for a while. Yeah. Hopefully not. That's insane, but I don't know.
I'm curious of Chuck's take, my father-in-law, because he was in Desert Storm, and he's actually on this trip right now with like 10 other Marines that he was in with. He's like it's like a little vacation. Him and Noreen are out. It's like this super nice Airbnb. I don't remember where they are, but really cool trip. Anyway, they text us one night, all these photos of all the guys hanging out and stuff. And they were like, after hearing all these stories and what they talk about and their take on current events and what they did, he was like, you don't got to lock your doors at night. Obviously you do. but he's basically saying like, he's like, there's a lot of power there.
If you just look back at the last, even just my lifetime in 40 years, there's just cycles of stuff that keeps happening. And I've become less and less fearful over stuff like that. You just get through it because A, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
I guess there's no B to that.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice. Everything is always okay until it's not. And when it's not, it's not. So the way I look at it is whether World War III just started or whatever we just did stop a real threat, despite what the end result is, if it turns out to be World War III, we're not going to be worried about our businesses and money anyway. Now it's stay alive.
Survival and safety.
Yeah, so it's like we have no say in it. we can't control anything. And like, if we get blown up right now, okay, we're blown up. If it's like, if we get invaded right now, okay, we're switching hats. You can't really stop what you're doing. It makes no sense to just live in fear and start worrying about it, because we cannot control anything. We don't make any decisions. And it's either you trust in whatever's going on with the government and the military and they're going to take care of it, and you just continue working and living your life, or it shows up to our shores and we're switching hats. You're losing weight and picking up a gun.
Dude, I know. That's what I was talking about with my buddy last night. I was like, hey, man, at least I'll go get shredded. I'd happily.
That's what it's going to take for you to stop eating jelly beans at night. Yeah. World War III in Oceanside.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Storming the beaches of La Jolla.
Oh, my God.
That's terrifying.
There's so many bases in California. No one's coming to California.
Well, okay, again, very ignorant about this. But World War III is a very heavy assumption. Maybe. Could be wrong. But World War, like the entire... I know when you say World War III, it doesn't mean like the entire world, but it means like most of the world.
The
big dogs.
Yeah, what are they called? There's like an axis or I don't know. Whatever.
That was you're thinking.
It would be Russia, China, United States,
the big dogs,
and then the Middle East. I guess. Well, the Middle East isn't none of that. There's no power, real power. Yeah, the big dogs.
Side note: have you seen the show Tires with Shane Gill? Have you seen that episode?
Yes.
You know the episode in the new one where he's like,
big dogs.
He's like, he gives him the check, and he's like, "What's this?" He's like, "Your bonus," and he's like, "Not enough." he's like, yeah, he goes, he's wearing the Oakleys, and he goes,
big dog, he goes, or something.
He's like, "I need more." he goes, "I'm a big dog, gotta eat." I love that show. That show's so great. Funny.
It's really good.
Anyway, that's how you can tell we don't know much about it. We just pivot so hard. But yeah, that's a heavy assumption, or just I don't know, it's just a heavy term, World War. But yeah, like you said, if it happens, it happens. I guess we'll stop making franchise marketing.
I don't know. And what does it look like? I mean, it's not. If there's another quote unquote World War, it's not going to be like World War I or World War II. It's going to be people trying to attack the power grid, control information, drones, AI, all that. I don't think you have a bunch of. Then again, I don't know. Human nature is human nature, and there's ego in any man, any leader, and it just takes the right thing to the wrong person for someone to do something stupid. And maybe this was it. I think, isn't Russia and China allies with Iran?
I think so. I could actually look that up.
That's not good.
Because I saw a video this morning of Putin. Someone asked him, like, if they're going to be backing Iran. I'll say Iran now. And just the clip I saw was he was, like, uncertain because he claimed that there's over 2 million people in Israel that speak Russian language. Basically saying, like, I don't know. There's a lot of people from
what all the information we've learned about. Again, I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. Preface that. But it seems as though Russia is not what everybody thought they were, because if Ukraine can hold them off, forget win lose, I feel like Russia should have run them over in like 48 hours.
That's what you'd think. And they that's when those thoughts start coming in. Like, is it really about the war, or is it about money and things?
Well, I guess the other argument could be if you genuinely want to take back the earth, you want to gain territory. Why would you completely annihilate
everybody?
I don't know.
This is out of our pay
grade. We should rant. These thoughts that should stay in your head, I guess.
What I was going to say too is like. Yeah, I think it's completely different. It's not people aren't getting trench foot going to World War III, maybe, because one of my buddies works
no trench foot, no black's paw, no front cavity.
It's just. Is that a drone? Is that a drone? You can't even say is that a drone. You don't even see it. Yeah. It's like one of my buddies.
It's not even funny.
No, it's not funny. One of my buddies works at man, I don't remember which one it was. It's one of the
Lockheed,
one of the ones, and he was like an intern.
Northrop.
No, I think it's it's a little bit of a smaller one, but they specialize in like UAVs and drones specifically, and he was an intern there. He like studied finance at USC, and his job is literally doing financial models on the drones that do those horrible things to like make sure that it's
like
crazy.
What is the price point for each soul it takes?
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah,
it's just crazy, man. It's pretty gnarly. But anyway,
those head wrinkles. It's good.
Anyway, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
that's all I could say about it.
We're just in it now.
Yep.
We're just in it.
Come on, man.
Is that the middle?
Yeah.
It's already been 30 minutes. We need to upgrade. That's it. After this pod, we're buying the third camera. Oh, you want me to get up?
Sure.
All right.
Let's pivot.
I'm not wearing pants. Don't look at my legs.
That's funny. So we actually prepped some bullet points today. How great of us to do that. But with this current event, we feel like we just wanted to talk. Yes, you are good. But what today was supposed to be about is the dark side of entrepreneurship.
I just have to say something really quick.
I gotta say something.
We really need to up our game. If you think about, you said on your way over here, you watched the excuse me. Gosh, the PBD emergency podcast. They just brought receipts and facts and information.
Unreal, man.
Had this like 45-minute like excellent. There was just good opinion,
debate,
factual information, debate. We've had like 12 hours to think about this now and have nothing to say. I feel outgunned, my man.
We just rolled in like 2 bean and cheese burritos.
Gosh, I feel like a gas station California roll.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Those aren't well prepped at all. No. I'm trying to chug these electrolytes. I want to hit some coffee. Well, let's talk about something we can talk about.
Okay.
How about that?
Yep.
So, dark side of entrepreneurship. Sounds a little Sigma. But it's real. And there's a lot of things you don't realize you're going to get into when you're going to be an entrepreneur. And even though we're going to talk about those things, if you're thinking about becoming one, I highly recommend you do. And I think you should go all in. But you just think about the outcomes, and you do recognize that there'll be some sacrifices because maybe you have friends or family that are doing it, and you see what happens to them or what they go through. But there's a lot of things. Identity loss, weight gain, or weight loss. That one's a funny, but it's real. But yeah, you could like kind of lose your identity or reshape your identity. Lots of anxiety. Things happen to your relationship. Imposter syndrome is huge. I don't think there's a single person that doesn't get that. Of course, there's risk. But a lot of your outcomes and successes, correct me if you think different, I feel like kind of boil down to like, of course, business decisions and things like that and hard work and whatever, but really kind of like the core of yourself. And it's like people say your health is your wealth. Clearly, I'm not wealthy right now. I'm not really wealthy looking. But like how much you take care of yourself, is your house taken care of? Like, do you run your house well? Your relationships at home and your family, those things affect you operating your business, and you can't operate at the highest tier if you don't have a great relationship with your wife. You're not healthy. Stupid stuff like your laundry's not done. I don't know. Just there's all these things that just stack on and pile up. But anyway.
Well, first and foremost, I think, do you need this? Do you need to plug that in?
I'm good right now.
Okay. I'm at like 82%.
Dang.
I think it takes, I don't think everybody can or should do it.
Yeah.
Let's start there. You have to have a really strong stomach, so to speak, and be able to handle just immense amounts of stress and almost get off on it.
No, I agree.
You have to be a while ago, I just realized the stress and that pressure is kind of what keeps me together. I kind of like it. It's so weird because if you just measured and if you followed me for a day or multiple days, it would probably look like there's zero joy. It's all problems. It's all problem solving. It's all issues. But if you asked me if you monitored me for like 6 months, you might, an outsider might say, gosh, it seems like 99% of that was problems and stress. But if you asked me, do you love your job and do you like doing it? Yeah, I do.
I say that all the time.
I like problem solving. I like that hunt. I like gaining more information. I like going further. I like learning. What I'm getting at is I think it has to be a specific personality type who's just up for that and ready to pivot. Like you can have a game plan for the year and you could go all the way granular and have a game plan just for the day. None of it is going to go how you thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
And it's your job to continue to pivot and make moves so that you do end up where you thought you were going to go. But if you lay it all out and say, here's what I'm going to do today, the rest of this week, these months, that month, at the end of the year, and have your outcomes figured out, that's great. Yeah. But how you're getting there is not what you think.
You're just going to disappoint yourself. That's what, I don't remember how Dad said it, but when I was first working with Christopher a long time ago, when he came back and started working in VCal, like when we were working in Compton, he would make a list of like all the things he's going to get done today. And Dad would like just chuckle at him and be like, that's a recipe for disappointment.
Yep.
It's just not going to happen. But I completely agree with you. Getting off on the stress is
I don't know how else to put that. But
in a better way, you could say like the addiction to the hustle or the addiction to the grind. Because I don't think genuinely we're not interested in stress. I think what it is though, for me, I feel loose. Like maybe my person, my identity, the things I do is like broken into a bunch of fragments. Or it's just there's just a bunch of little cracks everywhere. And that stress, that pressure, like keeps you together. Having that rigid schedule and that constant commitment keeps me sane.
Well, you also, I think putting the reps in, so to speak, is the key here. So if you have to have so many things happen, a bunch of things come your way, solve them, go, okay, I'm able to do that. And that continues to happen where you get these curveballs. No, I didn't get that job. There was a fire over here. This person quit. I lost money here. The more you deal with things like that, the less emotional you get about them. So then your planning changes and you go, now when you write out your plan or come up with an idea, it's not just this is how I'm going to do it and I will get there. It's okay, step one is this, but here's 3 variables that can happen and I have options for those 3. And it keeps branching. If that happens, I'll do this. If that happens, I'll do that. And then also not getting emotionally attached to what you think the outcome is going to be. One of the biggest things
that's a big one
that lowered stress levels for me is, let's say my business. I bid a job. I have an idea of, okay, it should cost exactly this amount of money. And if everything goes well, I should make this amount of money. I don't know how many jobs I've actually got to the
hit target.
Yeah, hit target. Because things just happen. And it's not, let's say labor goes over a little bit by a week. It costs a lot, so that comes right out of profit. And if you let that upset you too much, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Or there's some unforeseen issue on a project where you could look at it and say, should I have caught that? Or is this a change order for the customer? Then I have like a reputation decision to make. I can say, this definitely was not something I could have seen. It's definitely a cost that the client should be paying for. It falls under change order category. But my choice is this an opportunity to show them how committed I am to them? And how much I care about their success and their bottom line, so I can let them know this is going to cost X. I'm giving it to you for free because I understand A, B, and C. I'm in it to win it, whatever. So it's an opportunity there to get a good story out of them. Or it's so much money that you can't do that and you need to do that. And despite it being a real change order or an unforeseen or something that wasn't my fault or their fault, but they need to pay for it, maybe that derails their budget. Maybe they're upset at the end, and not necessarily at you, but maybe you won't get a good testimonial anymore. So there's all these choices and decisions to make.
There's just
bottom line, you're often not going to make what you thought you're going to make. So the best phrase that made me change the way I look at everything is expect nothing and accept everything.
Yeah, that's my daily affirmation. I remember by heart because I always read it off the paper, which I should know. But one of the lines is, you can't control anything, but you can control how you react to everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, you definitely have to live by that. Being an entrepreneur, there's layers to it.
There are.
It is 3D chess. I also find, like we talked about, being stressed. We haven't touched on burnout. I don't get burnt out ever. I think what I get is decision fatigue, because I never have I ever worked my ass off over a week or months or like for a season and then go, man, I need a vacation. Never. I'll wake up the next day, I'm just fine, because I, like you, genuinely am interested and love doing this. I think I just get decision fatigue here and there. I'm like, that was rough. That one kicked me in the nuts. You know,
sometimes you just have to change the scenery a little bit.
Yeah, you change the scenery, or go get dinner on a Wednesday night.
Yep.
Whatever it may be. But I never wake up the next day and I'm just like, God, I need to go on a vacay or something.
Yeah, me either.
It's just decision fatigue, or you had a big week, and I don't know. It's never like, I don't ever feel that way.
I
ever.
love the chaos.
I was gonna say, because it's just
the longer you do it, you'll start understanding yourself and how you get in those moments, whether it's decision fatigue or burnt out or whatever you want to call it. Well, you'll get to a point where you'll feel it coming on, and you may just need to go, I'm going to get out of the office right now for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Go grab a coffee at a place I've never been to, whatever.
Yep.
And try not to think about work for 10 minutes. And then boom, you get this, like, you just get recharged.
Yeah, I think people undervalue the little things. Like, you don't need to, maybe you do, everyone's different, but coming from us, you don't need to go do 14 days in Tahiti.
No, I would go insane.
Yeah, like, you take a different way home from work.
Yep.
Ride a bike when you get home.
Just break that cycle.
Yeah, or like something I do is I don't like to eat lunch for like an hour at work. I hate that.
Oh, no.
When I bring, because I bring my food in, or if I DoorDash, like Waba Grill. I love to smash it in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. But on some days, I have a TV in my office. I'll watch something for 15 minutes, and it's like that alone. I don't know. I don't need.
Okay, here's where the psychopath comes in. So I am very similar.
I think we should just tell people how we are.
Okay.
Because we definitely have some psycho work till 3 a.m. on the chase of the couch.
If my eyes are open, I'm working or thinking about working, which is working.
That's exactly me. We should figure out how to put that in a perfect phrase, because I could dance around that subject forever.
Well, it's not unique to us. It's every single entrepreneur. Yeah, we're all the same.
Yeah.
No, what I was going to say about the lunch thing. I get a lot of guilt. So this is where the negative side comes in.
Yep.
Excuse me. So I don't eat here at the office ever at all.
Interesting.
At all. I often don't eat until like 3 or 4 o'clock because I'm not a big breakfast guy. Or even if I do eat breakfast, I will come and I will just power through like 10 or 11 hours, and then I'll get hungry, and that's what makes me stop and leave. I'm like, man, I'm starving. I got to get out of here. And then I'll go home, I'll eat something, and then I'll work from home for the rest of the day. Yeah. However, I have done hey, stop for lunch. It's good for you mentally. It's a good little break. And I have the TV. I have the couch in there. So I have got lunch, put something on TV, YouTube, whatever, sit down on the couch where the table is there.
Slows you down.
Well, it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
But 10 minutes into it, I feel like a loser. I'm like, you are not allowed to be doing this.
That's exactly why I
feel guilty. It's so weird.
Minutes.
It's unhealthy for sure. It's negative.
I don't think.
If I stop for 10 minutes and eat on the couch, obviously I know I'm allowed to do that. I know I should be doing that. Blah, blah, blah. I feel guilty.
Who sets that rule, though? That's the rule.
I guess. I don't know. Well, I'm not saying it's good by any means. I'm saying that's how I feel. So I just power through it.
That's what I'm saying. It's funny because we've never talked about that. I really only take, because sometimes Morgan will be like, "Can you FaceTime me when you're eating your lunch?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." And I call her, and it's like a 12-minute call because I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna go back."
And 8 minutes of it is you going, "I gotta go," in the back of your mind.
yeah. Obviously, I love her, but like, no, that's guilt too. I think it's dumb, or it just sucks that we feel that way, because who set the rule of you need to take a break and it's not good for your mental health? I think doing things that you don't like are, let me rephrase that, because you have to do things you don't like to get places you want to be. Over the span of your life, doing things you're not passionate about or interested in are more negative for your negative health than focusing on something you are genuinely interested in, even if you have the bad days and it is hard and it does stress you out. Because the problem, and I'm not going to even call it a problem because that gives it negative connotation, but the challenge here is that we attach our identities to the output and the results of our businesses. That's why we think about it all day. Or if we're not at work, we're thinking about work. And the only time you're not thinking about work is probably when you're playing guitar.
Yeah,
and you can finally zone out.
That's true.
Or you're going 100 miles an hour at Havasu. But it's like those spurts.
The guitar, the music is genuinely the only thing in my life where I am 100% engaged in. No work is in my brain, but that doesn't happen a lot anymore. Even on the boat, I'm thinking about work because I'm like, ooh, I need that Whipple.
So you need the supercharger. Yeah.
Which means money, which means blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Also, flip that whole conversation. Who said you need a full hour outside of the office?
Exactly. If it's your damn office that you put a couch and TV and you're probably more than comfortable.
I don't want a break. I think if you can eat while you're working, whistle while you work type of deal, you should.
Also, how privileged are we to have something that we're so passionate about, and other entrepreneurs? How privileged are you that you get to think about something for 24 hours a day and be fired up and go back and constantly keep grinding on it? It's just like we just have a never-ending stone we get to chisel away. Like it's our own.
Well, the output is
art,
yeah, exactly. I think the difference between, say, a W-2 employee versus where we're at, obviously, is risk and reward. So the people that work here, I often tell them, like, please don't think about work when you go home. I want you to go completely disconnect.
Yeah.
Feel comfortable that your job's going to be here tomorrow, and you come back refreshed and ready to do your 8 hours. I don't want them to do what I'm doing because it's psychotic, and you're not going to wake up 100%. Damn it, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, the risk reward. And then, okay. So if you continue to put effort, thought, work, planning, sharpening your skills, all of that, you're not wasting your money. So if a W-2 person goes home and is thinking and working and doing or trying to be better, it's not really related to their paycheck. Maybe in some way, but if you continue to work when you get home, you will continue to make money.
Yeah. Also,
not the other way around. So I don't know if I'm making sense there.
No, that makes sense to me. And I think as a W-2, you can do things that can better you, that can help you rise in your own organization and things like that. I think it's just not a direct, some of the things that you're going to do, whether it's books you read, podcasts you do, or trainings or certificates, it's like the ratio of the effort you put in or investment into that resource to the output and the thing that you're going to receive back from organization is not always one-to-one.
You
could put in way too much work and get a 10-cent raise or no raise, or you could just read one book, have the idea, and then they're like, dude, I'm giving you an extra $30 an hour or something. You like instantly get promoted. So it's just a little risky there. And it's like, but yeah, I always tell people it's my job to stress.
Yep.
Literally. I don't know, but I love it.
Okay, let's go into stress. Kind of goes into anxiety. The anxiety, it could all go away. Which this is a big one. So how long have I been doing this? I don't even know. I don't even know how you measure how long I've been doing this, because it was kind of a blurred, started doing stuff in high school, had a few jobs, worked with dad, had my own little handyman business, also worked at the bar and blah, 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 blah. I would say the entire time.
Yeah. Including
now, constantly, always in the back of my head is this can all go away at any moment. I've always said, I can't wait till I get to the point where I'm comfortable and I feel safe and I feel like it won't stop, or you have this random amount of money that will make you comfortable. I've never found an ounce of comfort in any of that. And I still, every day, anytime something happens, I think one of the reasons why I react so well to problems, big and small, is because of that fear. Mm-hmm. And I immediately don't think money when something bad happens. If something bad happens and I know it needs attention, my first thought is, how do I make that client feel that I care? Make sure I make it right for them, no matter what it was.
Yeah.
Whether it's an employee doing something, or something breaking, or a flood, or unforeseen issues outside of our control, whatever the case may be, I immediately go, I don't care if this job goes to zero. I don't care if I lose money on it. I need to salvage this reputation and the story they tell when this is over.
Yeah.
Because it only takes that one to potentially start the process of derailing you and ruining your reputation. So
every challenge is an opportunity. That's how I viewed everything.
It definitely
negative that's happened. And
yeah.
Most oftentimes, even if you lose the business, you're able to kind of somewhat rekindle your relationship on the human level, maybe not on the business level, but like they appreciate, even though you messed up. And
the human level is the exact level you want to appeal to, though.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's all relationships and it's all personal connection.
I was going to say something about the last bullet point before I forget too, about thinking about work, because I don't know if people believe us when you say it, unless you're an entrepreneur, but every second of every waking day, it's absurd. It's literally crazy. You are thinking about the business. If you're not at work working, you're thinking about work. And for me, it's I'm constantly running through scenarios of like, how could have I improved that? Or like, okay, what do I have to do tomorrow? It could be simple. Like, what do I have to do tomorrow? New systems, processes, whatever. You're just always thinking about work. And like, even when I was in Bora Bora, I was like, man, this is beautiful. It would be, I'd love to send my invoices in front of this right now. So and that's cool. What I did.
Yeah. When we were in Hawaii, we were both lining up coaching and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. And it felt great. Yeah. But thinking about work, you have to look at it from two different ways. One perspective is like, that's not doing the work. It's not going to move you forward. That's like what Chris Williams said. He's like, thinking about the work is not doing the work. Fearing the work is not doing the work. Planning the work is not doing the work. Whatever. You get that point. But also from the other side, thinking about the work as the entrepreneur is part of the job. Like, there's no version of you showing up in a 9 to 5 and crushing it and killing it and then just cutting everything off after 5 p.m.
No.
Thinking about the work is part of the productivity. You have some of your best thoughts at 2, 3 in the morning, or in the shower, or at Bora Bora, or at your kid's sports game, whatever. Like, you have to, I don't know, you can't drive yourself crazy, but if it's not driving you crazy, it's not a bad thing. I think we need to help remove the negative view of doing that much, because it's like, if you want great outcomes,
it's not negative.
It's not negative at all.
As long as you are still present for the important stuff, which is just your house and your family at home. Yeah. Everything else doesn't matter.
Also, do you want the people operating the craziest surgeries in the world, or building the most insane skyscrapers in the world, not obsessed with their job and their process?
Yep.
You want them just absurdly obsessed with
the doing the work hours, which is your quote unquote 9 to 5 or whatever chunk of hours you say you work. That's when you're taking action on the ideas, the systems, all the stuff. That is, so it's important to be obsessing and thinking about this stuff, because if you only spent 8 to 10 hours a day of planning and taking action, you'd be burning up so much time.
Dude, yeah.
Most of my learning, reading, ideas, like adjustments, thoughts, It's all after everybody goes to bed.
Yeah.
I get up early and I do a chunk of time at home. Then I come to the office and do a big chunk. Then I get hungry and I get a little bit burnt out, and then I go home and I'll eat, and then I'll also put in some time with the family, the girls. I'll do whatever, go outside and play with them, and that'll all be that's like a 2-hour break. And then they're usually going to bed. After they go to bed, I do like another 5 or 6 hours. Yeah. Only that's the fun stuff where I start scheming, coming up with ideas, business development ideas. I'll work on my manual, my playbook.
Yeah.
And then just, excuse me, I'll watch videos, or I don't know, just bounce ideas off of myself.
Best learning. That's what I do. I literally talk to myself in the shower. Yeah. I'll put it out in there in public. I talk to myself in the car, when I'm driving, like all the time.
Do you have those moments where you'll think about something or say something, and then you're like, stupid, that's so stupid. I'm an idiot.
I do that all the time. Well, I always do something where I act like someone else. I will literally plan out conversations in my head. I'll be like, "Hey, nice to meet you, man." They'll be like I will literally map out.
So, man, how's it going? Oh, that's not good. Hey, bro. Oh, that's not good. It's not professional.
I will map out how I think and manifest a conversation. And like prepping for these last 2 big calls I had, you knew what they were. I had simulations in my mind where they're like, "So what's going on?" Or like, "What's next steps?" And I'm like, "We're proposing to do this, this, and this."
Money.
And they go, "We don't really think it's a good fit right now." And like, I already had every branch of possibility planned.
Listen, bub.
No, it's my way. Do it my way.
You don't know. I know.
But anyway,
yeah.
The other thing too that we do is, I think when it's time to be dad mode, family mode, we're all in type of people. Yeah. If we're at brunch, getting margs and scrambled eggs, we're going
margs and scrambled eggs. Breakfast tacos and whiskey.
Yeah, this stuff does not match. It's like
Cheerios and ketchup,
caviar and chocolate milk,
spiked horchata and beans.
Oh, I like the horchata and beans. Yeah, but anyway, if we're doing bean and cheese Sunday morning, we're very present.
Yeah,
so we're not like. I think we're more than fine. I think we're far more fulfilled than the average guy, because you can,
I have like a third floor in my brain where they keep working even when I'm talking to you about
that's okay. Yeah. That's a great way to explain it, because there's definitely that for me too.
Because I'll get dude, I will be in those moments like the brunch or the whatever. We don't go to brunch.
We do brunch like twice a year.
Yeah, if you're in that scenario where you're doing something other than work, that third floor is still just cooking, dude.
Making ideas.
And then sometimes someone comes down from the elevator to the first floor where I'm at, and then I have to stop and grab my phone, and I'll jot down these cool ideas, and then when the brunch is over, I go home, I'm like, ooh, I got these ideas, and then I'll start working on that.
My go-to is because we use Slack, I'll think of something and I just immediately send it, because I'm like, I'll get to it another time, or they'll see it.
Yep.
And then it sparks the ideas, and that stuff turns into great things. Yeah. More often than not. We don't do brunch, but we do Italian food and espresso martinis.
We
were on a little bender.
Gourmet Italia.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about plowing carbs and drinking espresso martinis. It's good.
That's what, dude. We went to Steak 48 last night.
Did you talk to who's that guy that you're Sam something? Who are you with?
Oh yeah, I really want to talk about this.
What's
today.
He called? The food guy?
Name? No. So his business, his channel is called Sam the Cooking Guy.
The Cooking Guy.
Sam the Cooking Guy has been doing this forever, and he doesn't just do YouTube. He's also very, very successful in business.
Pause. What's funny is you sent it to me as if this is some superstar. I have never seen him or heard of him.
Well, that just shows how big the world is.
Yeah.
No, but he's a good guy.
Or how into food you are.
Okay, you know what? Guess who else I texted and they freaked out?
Who?
Pat and Mandy. They love him. We have like this shared interest over Sam the Cooking Guy and had no idea for years, and then one day we talked about it. But they were like, no way. I was going to walk up. He's really, whatever. Obviously, he's not like A-list.
Did you send him some cheese or something?
No, I wasn't going to be weird about it.
Hey, send Sam a little piece of cheese for me.
I know. It's like, he's a cooking guy. You don't send him a shot. You send him like you're You're like, he can have the gristle off my ribeye. But, dude, steak 48 is so cool. You got to go. But anyway, I won't spend too much time on it. But we saw Sam the cooking guy, and Morgan saw him. I didn't even see him across the bar. And she was like,
who's he with?
Just his wife, just him and his wife. They're having like a nice dinner. And she was like, is that Sam the cooking guy? And I was like, I looked and I was like, nah. And she was like, yeah, no, he has more wrinkles on his face because he's like an older guy. And then because he like looked too good in person. So shout out Sam, you looked good last night. But I looked again and I was like, no way. I was like, that is definitely Sam the cooking guy. And then the room got a little quiet for a second and we heard him talk and we were like, that is Sam the cooking guy. And then
the room got quiet and you're like, is that Sam? Oh God.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, what do I do? My last like celebrity.
You send him cheese, man.
No, I'm not sending him cheese. My last celebrity interaction was Nate Diaz. But anyway, I was like, oh, should I ask for a picture? And I was like, you know what? He's with his wife. I'm not going to bug him at all. And I was like, on the off chance that he walks past us or we end up walking past him, I'll say hi or something like that. Like, I'm not going to be a weirdo.
Child brain. You're like, on the off chance?
Well,
you're all cooking up scenarios.
Yeah, that's what I said, dude. I cook up scenarios in the shower. Really close. I'll tell you that in a second. But I was probably like 15 feet away from him. So I'm not going to... And he's in the middle of a bunch of tables and chairs.
Yeah.
Like, if I walked up to him, it's like clearly... It's like walking in the middle of the restaurant, talk to someone. It's just weird. Anyway, it's a really nice place.
You gotta just dive into stuff like that if you want to say hi. Me and Melissa were in where were we?
Charlize Theron.
Oh yeah, her too. But no, Diane Keaton. We were at this like jazz steakhouse jazz bar in where the hell was I? Laguna Beach.
Dude, you've lost your mind like 4 times today already. Getting old, Papa.
I'm thinking about work. I was trying to think of her name. It was Diane Keaton. We got sat at the same time.
My third floor just made a whole sales script.
I have a picture of it. I'll send it to you. I got sat.
My third floor just figured out how to make money off the World War III. Just kidding.
The restaurant has it's like the whole wall was a couch, and then there's like little tables and people sit in front. And me and Diane Keaton sat down next to each other, and I had no idea. She dresses all fun and whatever. Melissa was looking at me, and she was on my left, and she like kept looking over. I'm like, "What's your deal?" And we were closer than we are. Like I was literally shoulder to shoulder with Diane Keaton, and Melissa was like looking at me and looking at her, and then she's like, "Are you Diane Keaton?" And I looked over, was like, "Holy shit!"
That's crazy.
And we talked and
see, I was a distance from Sam. I'm not gonna.
Melissa has a no filter, like she's a little bit of a tism where she's like,
for it.
"Hi,
yeah,
are you Diane Keaton?"
See, that's the thing. I'm like, I know how this guy is online. What if I walk up and he's like, because I heard this story from Joe Rogan.
What's that?
Obviously, way more.
We just closed the deal.
Oh fuck, the thing. Anyway, he's like, I hate when people. He's like, I love seeing fans, but I hate when they come up to me at dinner when I'm just with my wife and kids. He's like, come on, man, I'm just trying to eat. So I was like. Anyway, I'll wrap it up. I saw him. We heard his voice. That was Sam the cooking guy. Then we get seated at the table directly next to him. Like I could touch him.
Yeah, but you didn't.
I didn't because I'm not weird. So when we were walking over there, I just walked up and I was like, Sam? No, but I walked up and I was like, Sam? And he was like, yeah. I was like, love your stuff, man.
Did you?
Yeah, I just said me and my family watch stuff.
This is what you should have done. You should have walked in with your phone in your hand
like this,
and then what happened? Oh, so you're
walk up like this. So, are you Sam?
No. Even better. Walk by and be like, "Are you Sam?" Hold on a sec. Hello.
This guy's big dog. He's big dog. Gotta eat. He did a speech at Google. Like he's one of these guys. Anyway, I walked up, put my hand out. I said, "Are you Sam?" And I was like, "Dude, love your stuff, man. Some of my family watches it. Keep cooking."
Did you shake your belly? Love your stuff. Ooh.
No, and then I just shook his hand. And then we sat right next to him. So he was probably like, "Oh, this big fat guy's going to talk to me all night now." But I didn't. I was just like,
you know
what I did do though? Is I paid attention to what he ordered because I was like, This guy knows his stuff.
Was it cheese?
No, but he ordered all the special stuff, and I think the restaurant knew who he was because they messed up his wife's order
purposely.
Yeah, I don't know.
To create a moment.
It's a really nice restaurant, so maybe they were just doing that anyway because it's really nice. But they messed his wife's stuff up.
I only have 9 minutes, so
they were like
close on this or
super upset about it. Anyway, you got 10:40, buddy. You got to jump. Let's jump back into the business.
I have to go do father-daughter dance rehearsal or practice, whatever you call it.
See, you're not all out of it because you're doing stuff like that.
Well, I'll always show up for stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
The third floor will be cooking when I'm learning these dance moves.
Yeah, you're going to do, I don't remember any dance terms. But anyway, you'll be doing twirls, and you're like, pitch step.
I had to...
ROI.
Yeah, that's. I did it last year, and it really stressed me out because I also have I want to be good at everything that I do, and it is really difficult.
Dude, it is difficult. I did a dance,
and it's not the actual moves. I mean, those are just ugh.
It's like remembering and looking good.
Yeah, you have to remember all this choreography, and all the other dads that are there, or most of the other dads that are there, have your standard. I work in these hours, and then I do other things outside of my work life. They have time to do it.
Yeah.
I have zero time to do it.
So they're in their garage, not even with their daughter, just enjoying.
Dude, like,
just kidding.
I don't know how many dads are in the group, but I would say there was probably 40. This is last year, okay? Mm-hmm. I show up to the first one. They all just knew the dance. I'm like, what is happening here?
Because their daughters went home and like prepped them.
I guess. I'm like, how does everybody understand this? Because they teach you like 4 minutes of like, there's so much to remember. I'm like, how are you guys doing this? This year, apparently I've already missed the first one or two. Melissa told me today, she's like, you have your thing today. And I was like, oh, is this the first one? Nope, it's not. I'm like, oh, great. Even more unprepared.
Yeah.
So I just was like, you know what?
Well, if you just
I'm just going to have fun with Memphis. I'm not going to, it is what it is. What if you just
kill it? You're just popping your stuff.
I mean, I would like to because it means a lot to Memphis.
Yeah.
But I just had to go, you know what? We're going to do it when we're there. We do have the videos that we can watch at home, I guess. But
it's I know what you're talking about because I've watched multiple of them when Morgan was dancing.
It's kind of mind-blowing how much they expect you to remember.
Yeah.
And I'm not a dancer. I don't ever dance. Mm-hmm. I never went to prom. I didn't go to school dances. I have zero dance in me.
We're just offbeat fellas because I can't
Well,
dance.
I'm on beat. I got the music thing. But the body...
When it comes to dancing
no, nothing.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It's awkward. Yeah. I'll do it for her, though.
If you want me to play finger drums in a Siggy's, I'm on beat every day. But dancing is rough, and Morgan loves it, so it's hard because I'm like, I don't want to be a party pooper.
Dude,
I gotta go.
You gotta see the amount of moves. I'm gonna show it to you. I'm like, how on earth is anyone remembering all of this? And then whatever. And then the day of the thing, they throw a bunch of stuff in there because it's like you learn the dance.
Yeah.
But then they tell you right before you walk out, there are 7 groups, and you're going to go out on this part of this song, and you're going to walk like this.
Outfit changes.
Yeah, dude. And I'm like, what is happening?
You don't want to slip on stage, so you're going to put hairspray on your shoes. That's a real thing. There's all kinds of stuff.
And there's all just everybody's panicking, and I'm like, gosh. Yeah. Okay. So I have to do that.
Some dads are taking it too serious.
They're dude. They're like good
chill
at it.
Guy.
I know. And I'm like, well, this dork.
Bro's throwing it back a little too good.
There's always a handful that are just like me, and they're like, this is insane. I don't know any of this. I'm like, we are dancing together.
Yeah. I would absolutely do that for June every day. But, yeah, I'd be like, you just suck it up.
I just hate being unprepared for anything. And
that's really what it is. Because I'd be the guy that does it so much. Like, I overtrain. I'm like, give me the choreo. I'm going to do it 37 times at home by myself.
Well, we have the video now, so that's going to happen. But I'm literally walking into it today with nothing.
It's most fun for...
And all the other dads have already gone.
It's so fun for if you think about like the kids' perspective, though. That's
totally. It'll be easy to get into it because I'm there with her, and I'll do whatever. Whatever she wants me to.
When I was in Pop Warner, they did like a family day where like your brothers and dads and whatever could all come out and like practice with you. So there's like 50-year-old dads like tackling like 7-year-olds, and it's hilarious because they're just like ragdolling their son. Days like that were always super fun, and that's like her version of that with you, you know.
Totally. She loves it.
Yeah, it'll be great.
And I do last year there was a bunch of silly stuff I did. So whatever parts of the choreography that I didn't know, I just did something wildly embarrassing for her. It was fun.
You're just humping on the stage.
I was doing funny stuff.
Doing the floss. That's funny. Let's throw some value out to people that maybe feel like they're in a rut being an entrepreneur.
Okay, give me a topic.
Give them some solutions. Like
imposter syndrome.
How they you want to go through that? When do you have to wrap?
Like 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, then let's maybe jump to the value.
The value. Okay, go.
Kind of things. So like things we do to help with the anxiety, the fear, the identity, the relationships, things like that. I know whiskey and mayonnaise is a big one.
That is a good one.
I think funny, but it's not funny. But it
action,
no, but
action,
like
preparation. Okay, so to mitigate the stress and the anxiety, I guess, would be
or just make you feel better. Like positive things that you do to help you stay balanced. Everyone has their own balance. Balance for us is like the ability to think about work 24 hours a day. Things you do to help. I think let you be able to do that. Maybe, you know.
Sure. I think reps is a big deal. I think the more comfortable you can get with pivoting, the more reps you can get with problem solution, and also just allowing, keeping your expectation under control is a really big one. Like if I could tell myself something when I started, it would be control expectation, because you always assume if I do this, I will get that. And it's never going to be that. If you don't add up what you think you're going to make,
like just counting your chips too soon. I think a big one is just prepping your environment. If you're in an environment of whether it's the people that are around you talking to you, or like whatever kind of echo chamber you're in, or literally how you decorate the space that you work in, whether it's in an office or a bedroom, or whatever, the content you consume, you need to prep your environment for what kind of success you want, because listening to people like Alex Hormozy or PBD, all these people that are successful in where you want to be, like they invigorate you and empower you, and you hear them talk about working 3,000 hours in a week with positivity, and it's like, yeah, I can do this, you know. And I don't know, you need to really be careful about what you listen to and what your environment is, you know.
Yeah, there was an isolation part of this that I wanted to go into, but we don't have time to. Maybe we can get into it on another one. But if you are starting a business, you're about to become isolated, because exactly what you just said. You don't want to listen to, let me rephrase that, only listen to people you want to be like.
Yes.
So if you are starting something, you're likely in a sea of people who work for somebody, which is great. There's more of those people than there are entrepreneurs, and there needs to be, or none of it would work. So you're going to be isolated, and you can't listen to people going, you shouldn't do that. It's not safe. It's risky. It is all of those things. God, I just had my third brain fart. Hold on. I got to talk to the third floor.
Dude, you are aging, my man.
No, it's not that. I was thinking about the dance thing again.
Dementia's early and onset.
Yeah, I didn't have my neurogum.
Need more Zins.
Oh yeah, these are 3s. That's the problem.
Yeah, you're not getting enough. Your Nick tank is low.
No, prepping your environment. That's what you said. And careful who you listen to. You are going to be isolated. You will be alone, and you just need to trust yourself and just go for it. Dude, get your reps in. Keep moving. Don't expect anything, and just keep attacking.
And it's all about perspective. Like there's people who pick up dog poop and make millions a year because of perspective. You need to identify with the success and identify with the things that you want. The way you talk to yourself is so paramount. It's just so important. how you talk to yourself and how you approach yourself and how serious you take yourself, down to like how you dress.
Yep.
Why? I don't know.
The time you got to put a lot of time into. You ever hear somebody say, what is it? It took me 10 years to become an overnight success.
Yeah, it takes like 10. Yeah. That's
don't underestimate the amount of time it's going to take either. And
business is not a game of who wins first. It's a game of last man standing.
Yeah. You have to put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, and don't expect when it's going to happen. And it's no different than somebody going to college, right? If somebody goes to college for 4 years or whatever, then they get out and they get a good job. Okay, well, if you're starting a new business, it could take 4 years, could take 12 years, could take 15 years. Mm-hmm. And then there's a moment where it seems like overnight success, but it takes a long time. So definitely don't give up. That's for sure.
People underestimate the middle part. Everyone chants for you, like when you start the race and when you begin. They're like, you should do this. I'm so proud of you. I'm excited for you. And then when you cross the finish line, they're like, wow, you did it. Or they're pessimistic or whatever. But everyone is silent for the middle, like 90% or 80%. Everyone's dead quiet. They're like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?
Yeah, you'll get a lot of naysayers when you start to get a little success, too. Yeah. Everyone roots for you when you're a nobody.
Yeah.
The minute you're maybe surpassing whatever level they're at, you're an idiot now.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man.
And then when you get to whatever next level there is, where it's undeniable, now you're their friend again.
Hormozy has a quote about that. I don't remember how it goes. Basically, how they're always going to find a different scale to judge you on. Mm-hmm. And it's like, if you're doing better than them financially, they're going to be like, well, yeah, at least I have a better connection with my wife. Right. Or at least I spend more time with my kids. Or at least my boat's faster. Like, someone's always going to find a way. Yeah, there's haters out there, and you'll never meet a hater doing better than you.
That's a fact.
Ever.
That's a fact. Yeah. And people, oftentimes, the really successful people are so helpful, so kind. Incredibly. They want to grab you and bring you up.
Mm-hmm. They just provide so much resource, and that goes back to the environment. Surround yourself by those people. It's definitely hard to get in rooms like that, but you can listen to their content. You can read their books. You can dress like them. You know, you have to identify with that stuff. You just have to fake
it till you make it.
It's totally fake it till you make it. Of course, it's like kind of a private club, but it's not. The club is that club of winners is just a mindset.
Yeah.
Times the amount of time you put in.
That's it. I like how we're talking about this as if we're all like we're making $8 million a year. Like we are the circle. We are in the middle.
Yeah.
I might be closer to the top than you are, but I'm just kidding.
No, I think we're definitely in the middle. I'm just kidding. You know?
Yeah.
It's seriously just time put in. And then obviously you need to constantly be making efforts, but it's just time put in. That's it. I'm not at the top, and I fully recognize that I will get there just simply putting the time. It's just time multiplied by effort. And that you can't, the time is just, you just have to put the time in. That's
Reps. Yep. You just got to keep working at it.
Mm-hmm. You suck at stuff too when you start. He literally had a quote. He's like, when you're 22, he was like, people don't not like, that makes sense. He was like, no one hates you. You're just not good at anything yet. I'm just not good at it. It's just going to take time.
And you're constantly going to be learning too. I mean, I'm constantly, there's always something that you could say I suck at and I'm trying to get better at, trying to improve. If you ever stop trying to improve, you're going down.
Yeah, you need to keep learning every day.
Yeah.
There's you also need to just change your mindset of, there's just such an abundance of everything out there, an abundance of wealth, success, opportunities, knowledge. Life is full of abundance. The second you think it's not, it's your own fault.
Yeah.
Life is full of abundance.
I got to go.
All right, buddy. I got a 10:36. I got to jump.
I got to wrap. I got to go dance. Damn. What happened?
Nothing. Camera 4's off.
Let me fix it.
Got to fix it for the tro.
Anyway. Did I brain fart again?
Yeah, something's up. Something's going on.
With me or the camera?
Your brain. Did you check your basement?
Hold on. Oh, yeah, there's a flood in the basement. Fire sprinkler broke on the third floor. Everybody left.
Dude, we were playing mini basketball and someone hit a sprinkler and I was like,
yeah, dude, you do not want that. You're on the second floor, too. All right, outro. I don't know if this one was a good one or not. You talked about war, which is insane.
We just gave some opinion on it.
I know, I'm kidding.
We're ignorant. We only know what we know. But
I was thinking about work the whole time.
Oh, my buddy Sam, he just texted me. I said, who's that guy that your company executed with the drone that you did financial analysis on? Qasim Soleimani.
Oh, yeah. That was
back in 2020.
Yeah, that was the first Trump Iranian strike.
And then he said the Iranian leaders were taken out with their drones as well.
Well,
crazy.
Started with war, ended with war.
Yeah. Not saying it's positive.
I gotta go.
But
wrap it.
It's interesting that Sam does Excel spreadsheets of that stuff.
That is weird.
Crazy.
It's weird that he knows. All right.
Anyway. Thanks. Thanks, BMP Army.
Signing out.
All right.
Okay.
Keep your third floor in check.
Bye. I love you.
That's weird.
Whoa. I was talking to you.
That's why I thought it was weird.
You want a hug after the camera?
Nah.
Damn it. All right.